Hi, so in this video today, I'd like to tell you a story about a lady who booked in, then rang along the way and wanted to cancel due to lack of funds. I then encouraged her to come in nonetheless, and as a result of that, we ended up doing a total of more than $10,000 in sales. If you're new to the channel, my name is Richard. I'm a full-time photographer here in Australia. I own this studio along with my wife Tracy. Our studio turns over multiple six figures per annum. And I make these videos because I really enjoy talking about the business of photography. Okay, so the story goes like this. We're running a Facebook and Instagram campaign, basically a promotion. And the promotion was that ladies who applied could come in and they could have a session for free, meaning the actual photo shoot, hair and makeup, that sort of stuff, and have $100 left over to put towards whatever they want to get. We were limiting it to a certain amount of ladies and we got a heap of applicants, as you'd imagine. And this is a story about one of the ladies who applied. Now, so with that in mind, I'm going to call her Wendy from here on out, even though that's not her name. Okay, so here is a copy of the inquiry that came in from that promotion. It says, I'm a bigger lady and rarely allow anyone to take photos of me. This would be a way of making me step outside my comfort zone. Now, this is a really common thing that we hear, especially for our clients. We get a lot of ladies who say that. So she sort of fitted right into the type of client that we want to deal with. So we put her at the top of the pile and decided to call her. And so when we called her, we did what we normally did. We explained to exactly what the campaign was about, what was involved. And there was also, we explained to her that we require a booking deposit. Now that explanation of the booking deposit was on the landing page, and I might as well read that to you now so you're aware of what I'm referring to going forward with this. Okay, it says, do I have to pay a booking deposit? Question mark. When we schedule a boudoir experience, we block out an entire day and also book professional hair and makeup artists. If people fail to give us notice or simply do not turn up, then we have wasted a day where we could have had someone else in and we still have to pay our hair and makeup artist. With that in mind, while your session is covered with the gift certificate, we do ask for our standard $150 reservation fee to hold your session date and time. Your $150 reservation fee will be refunded if you decide not to purchase anything. If you do decide to purchase any artwork from your session, we'll use $150 as a credit towards your order. Thank you for understanding. So we got through the phone call and we got to the bit where we were talking about the reservation fee, and she's told us that she would love to do the session, but unfortunately she was short of money for all these different reasons, and could she pay it on payday? And we said that's absolutely fine, and so we raised an invoice, we sent it to her, and we explained that she would get reminders and that type of thing. And just in case you're interested, this is what our reminders look like. This is a friendly reminder that your reservation fee for your boudoir photography experience is due tomorrow. The invoice is attached in PDF as mentioned. Please use your name as a reference. Thank you again. Kind regards, Tracy and Richard. So that's pretty standard. So we got closer to that day and that email went out the night before. There was a bit of I can't remember what the correspondence was, but then the next day we got this email from her. It says, sorry, good morning. Sorry that was held up. I had a motorbike accident a couple of weeks ago and had to pay insurance for remedial massage therapy. I will hope to pay through the weekend. So after we got that, we contacted Wendy and we said, look, that's fine, no problem at all. Just let us know and let us know when it's paid. And then what happened was the weekend went by and nothing happened. Then she gave us a call again, explained that there was some other problem, which I can't actually remember now. And then a bit further along, so we said, look, do you want to do it on your next payday? And she said, that'd be wonderful, you wouldn't mind doing that. So we roll around to the next payday. Now I'm laughing, I shouldn't laugh. The only reason I'm laughing is because we have both since laughed about this. So I'm not unfeeling to her circumstances, but I don't want you to think that I'm like that, but that's the reason why. So we get closer, and again, after some more discussions, we get this text the next morning, and this is what the message looked like. She said, next fortnight, please, you would not believe it, but the new puppy put her lower canine teeth through the roof of the mouth. The vet is really loving us this month. And she even sent a picture of the injury. So there you go. And so just to explain that, this lady, she's a nurse, not a contract nurse, a casual nurse. So she gets paid on how many hours she puts in. But because she's also a dog breeder, she had these puppies that were bred and she wasn't able to get to work. And that was what was causing all the problems. So a bit more stuff went on. So in the end, I said, look, don't worry about this. Look, this is getting a bit too complicated. I said, look, why don't we just leave it? When you come in on the day of your shoot, come in and pay the $150 then, plus any extra money you might want to pay for any purchases you might want to make, like we've talked about. And she said, oh, that's a load off my mind, thank you very much. So we left it at that, left the booking as is, and a bit more time went by. Week of the shoot comes around, okay, phone rings, it's Wendy again. And she rings up and says, look, I'm really sorry, I've got to cancel the booking. I've got no money, I won't be able to pay. And so I thought to myself, look, we've come this far. I didn't say this, we've come this far. I thought to myself, she sounds like a really honest person. She's been very communicative. It's not like she's trying to talk us into doing it. You know what I mean? She's wanting to back out of us. So I said, look, Wendy, I told her that. I said, look, you sound like a really honest person. I'm happy for you to come along, do the shoot, right? If you get to the end and you like stuff, then we'll figure out a payment plan. No problem at all. That day comes along. She turns up for the day of the shoot. Exactly what happens, what I thought would happen. She did the shoot. She absolutely loved it. We got to the end. She put in an order for $1,800 worth of stuff, and she went on her way and was super happy. Now, just to recap, at this stage in the game, I've got no money for a deposit, right? I've got no money at all from her. At this stage, I've paid the hair and makeup and all that sort of stuff and chewed up a day of time. But that's fine because that's what I said I would do. So that's fine. One thing that we do here is the next day of any shoot that we do, we always send through a couple of sneak peeks. Okay, so the reason we send the sneak peeks through is for a couple of reasons. And the most important reason is they're just super excited and want to see some of the photos and show them off. And as a consequence of them showing off to their best friends, that's been a good sort of source of building, referrals and things like that as time goes by, because their friends remember them in a state of excitement. And the third reason is, and I should get into a whole video on this one day, but the third reason is it also firms up their order. So if they've made a big order, by having those sneak peeks, it reinforces that they've made the right decision. So in other words, not too much time's going by where they feel like they've made the wrong decision. Okay, so I thought I'll send them to her anyway, and because what's happened is years have gone by, I've gotten more, I guess, generous with my old age, and I try and live in a state of abundance and try and give more than I get. So I thought that's fine. I'll send her the sneak peeks. If this all goes pear-shaped, that's absolutely fine. I don't care, right? So I send her the sneak peeks. She loves them, and then what happens is a bit more time goes by, and then we get an inquiry via email from our website. And the inquiry looks like this. What you're looking at here is a screen grab from our CRM, okay? And it says here, a friend of mine has been to your studio. And I'm sure you're well ahead of me by this stage. You figured out that it's Wendy, is her friend, okay? So here we go. So this is what this lady has said. I thought about this for some time, but sad face. After a friend of mine shared her experience in photos, it gave me more confidence to actually do this for myself. I've had a lifetime of negativity about my body and achievements. It's always been difficult to put aside those feelings and step outside my comfort zone. My husband is my greatest supporter. He is stoked that I will finally see myself as he sees me, a smart, attractive, sexy lady. What's the saying? You only live once. And so that's the inquiry that came through. And I didn't know she was a friend of Wendy's at that stage. So I did what I normally do. I get on the phone, I call her up, we have a chat, we talk about this and that. I find out it's Wendy. I go, oh, okay, right. And we have a bit of a laugh, and it turns out that Wendy's a bit of a character, which I kind of figured out, a really lovely woman, obviously. And so we chatted about that. We get to the end of the call. I explain everything to her like a normal booking. She books in happily. She pays the deposit over the phone, and we're good to go. This lady comes in and does a shoot, and she spends $7,150. Okay, which is a really good sale. Now, on top of that, just to fast forward a few months, Wendy completed paying off in full her thing. I'd given her artwork before then because I just had a good feeling about it. I thought she'd be fine. And so she'd been enjoying that. And then on top of that, she booked in again, basically exactly a year from the time she did the shoot, because she's decided to go on a weight loss journey and wanted to have a goal in mind with that and celebrate her victory when she got there. And she's been paying in advance, you know what I mean? So she's been paying like payments, but this time the other way around, in advance of the shoot. So the point of this story is this: I guess that for me, if I had just sort of stuck to our rules, for want of a better word, and when she'd rung up and wanted to cancel because she didn't have any money, then all of this wouldn't have happened. Now, obviously, you wouldn't do this with every single person, right? In my case, I do this type of thing with people that I get a good feeling of. And the longer that you deal with people, the more you get that feeling about people. And I think that most people are fairly intuitive. I think that most photographers can get that feeling of people, whether they're trying to, just tell them a story or going to rip them off or just trying to get something for free. And in this case, this wasn't the case at all. So even though there was no guarantee that I would get paid, like anything could have happened, obviously, she mightn't have got back to work or something like that. But I was happy enough to take that risk and do it. And here's a really interesting thing. Like I mentioned before that in recent times, I've been giving the goods ahead of the payments being finished. Because when I first started doing this, I would basically demand that the payment plans are finished before they got their goods. I now do it the other way. Okay, so I try and give it to them as quickly as possible. And the strangest thing has happened as a result of doing that. And that is that back when I was demanding the payments be completed, I had a number of people get halfway through, pay thousands of dollars in some cases, excuse me, and then just literally disappear. And people might be looking at this video going, well, what's wrong with that? You end up with all this money. And that's true. But I don't really want their money for nothing. I want them to get something from it. And despite our efforts to try and get a hold of these people, they literally disappeared. It's the strangest thing. I don't understand it. I've got a funny feeling it might be that they're just embarrassed and don't want to sort of confront the problems, you know what I mean, whatever they might be. But putting that aside, but having said that, the people who we give the stuff to now, this has been going on for quite a long time now, we haven't had one person fail to date. So there you go. I've got a feeling it's something to do with the laws of reciprocity. I don't know if I've said that correctly, but that rule where, excuse me, when you give something, you get it back. I think that by being generous with people, being generous with the right people, which is most people, by the way, then they want to be good back to you. So by having some faith in them, I've found that they want to give back to you. And I've actually found that by doing so, I've actually greatly increased my my rebooking rate, meaning the ladies who come back and book again. So there you go. That's the story of my story of taking a lady who wanted to cancel and ending up with a total of over $10,000 in sales. I hope you got something out of it. I hope that towards the end it didn't sound too sort of hippie-ish and too navel gaze-ish, if that's even a word. But something I feel strongly about. I've enjoyed talking about it. And hopefully you got something out of it. If you did get something out of it and you're not a subscriber, I'd love it if you subscribe. If you've already subscribed, I'd love you to leave a comment and like it. Apparently that really helps the algorithm, so if you could do that, I'd hugely appreciate it. Until I see you next time, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.